Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here today on this Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday, where we are going to go over the top 15 foods, my top 15 foods, to boost your immune system. Now, these are things that you can easily include every single day. I literally curated this list to make sure that these are things that you could kind of sneak in on almost a daily basis. So how I made this list was really looking at what's realistic for most people to include, not any obscure foods, not really looking at a ton of different obscure spices, but saying, okay, what can we use for actual foods that people will enjoy eating that they should try to sneak in on a near daily basis? So now more than ever, we're talking about our immune system. I think that's a good thing to be talking about our immune system, but sometimes I see it going way overboard. I don't know if you've seen it lately, but there's just been this influx of all these different promotions of saying, well, you know, if you wear this wristband, you'll be able to boost your immune system. And if you take this chocolate drink, you'll be able to boost your immune system. Well, you know, here's the thing. You can look at studies and you can say, okay, yes, this has been shown to provide this type of antioxidant, where in this situation, it could absolutely boost your immune system. But what I want to be able to provide you is with actual scientific information that's also based on 6,000 years of Ayurvedic medicine, so that we know that it's backed up on both sides and that there's just no hype. So no doubt about it, you know, what I keep saying over and over is vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, add a little bit of melatonin if you'd like, add a little bit of extras if you like, no doubt about it. And then if you do get sick, okay, look at our viral-based protocols. Look at the L-lysine, look at the colloidal silver, look at the apple cider vinegar, look at the monolaurin. All of those are great. Look at the mullein extract to help with lung-based congestion. But what I want to make sure is that we're also looking at food as our main support system. So yes, I'm a huge believer in nutritional supplements. There's no doubt about it. And I give you the ones that are based on science, but I don't give you 50 different ones to use. I give you a daily immune boosting protocol. Nothing major, no mega doses needed. You just want to keep the immune system fully functional. You want to give your body the raw materials it needs in order to be able to work properly. That's the bottom line. Then, if you ever start to get run down, if you ever start to get sick, that's when we bring in everything else that we need. The echinacea, in certain cases, elderberry, bringing in colloidal silver if needed. Again, bringing in whatever you need, oregano oil and GI Balance, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many great products. So yes, those are needed in their time and place. But what you need to do is simply maintain on a daily basis and then allow your food to give you that next level nutrition. Now, next level nutrition is important to understand because the foods that we put in our body are either weakening our immune system through processed sugars and carbohydrates from a processed form, as well as a lot of heavier meats or heavier fats that are just not going to be healthy for us, like a fried fat, polyunsaturated fat, not good for us. So the goal is to actually focus on good, clean nutrition, a strong foundational supplement protocol. We recommend the daily foundational protocol level 2, and we recommend our daily immune bundle, which is, again, vitamin C, it's zinc, and it is vitamin D. You can find those at the website. You can just go to equilibriumnutrition.com/immunity, because I'm not going to go through that today. I've talked about those many times. You can see the dosages we recommend. I mean, all of it's there. So I don't want to overcomplicate this. What I want to do right now is focus on 15 curated immune boosting foods that you can use that have also been scientifically proven to balance inflammation and also balance a healthy immune system. So let's dig right in. We've got 15, so I'll give each one just about a minute, give you the highlights. And what you can do is say, okay, how could I add this more in my routine? And I'll try to give you those little tips as well. So the first one that many people think about is citrus fruits. But when they think about citrus fruit, they always think about oranges. Now, oranges aren't necessarily a bad idea to add in. However, they're not necessarily the ones that pack the most vitamin C or even necessarily all the time the most nutritious. So there's a lot of great citrus-based fruit. And you can also rotate them. You know, you can add different ones in. But here's an easy thing that you can do, which is going to give you vitamin C at the same time and make your water and your beverages you drink more delicious, easier to take down. Simply put, taking a full lemon, using a lemon squeezer. If you haven't seen that before, I'll try to link up for that previous Friday review. Take a lemon or a lime squeezer. I use lime. I like lime in my water. I think it tastes great. It makes it much easier to drink. And I just do a little bit of sea salt in there. So I've got my natural Gatorade, as I call it, my lemon, my lime, my sea salt. And again, you can just do one or the other. Easy to do. Again, you can buy a bag and they last weeks typically, so there's no issue there. All right, so that lemon limes, most of us I've heard about those. But what about taking a grapefruit and squeezing half a grapefruit into a liter of water? That's a really nice way too to keep your hydration up and to get a little bit of grapefruit and the benefits of grapefruit right in that water. It's low glycemic. It's been shown to help boost the metabolism, lots of vitamin C, and a lot of natural enzymes. It's a great one. It's an easy one. And again, super simple to keep the citrus fruit lying around your house, right? Easy. You can keep it in the refrigerator or keep it outside of the refrigerator, your choice. All right, next up is apples. You know I'm a huge fan of apples. I did a Friday review just on apples. So definitely check out that podcast. Again, we won't link up 15 different podcasts, but I've certainly talked about most of these items before individually. You can just go to stevencabral.com/podcasts. And you can just type in apples or apple, and a podcast will pop up for where I've talked about apples before and all their immune boosting ability. Because believe it or not, apples are one of the best foods if you want to boost your levels of quercetin naturally. And I thought I would add this one as well because sometimes during allergy season, people need that little bit of a boost with quercetin. And great research has shown that, especially with children, kids that ate apples, of course, along with a good, healthy Mediterranean diet, had a lot more protection against seasonal allergies and asthma. So really, really great. An apple a day. Does it keep their doctor away? Well, I think if you're eating an apple a day, you're probably doing a lot of other things right. And yes, I do think that you will keep the doctor away. So very little downside to eating an apple a day. Again, you're absolutely, unless you're on a specific protocol given you by a practitioner, maybe you're on the first 21 days of our fat lossity protocol. Maybe you're doing a 21-day functional medicine detox with us. Okay, we don't do fruit during those times to rebalance blood sugar, to help with the metabolism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, after that, we do say you should eat fruit. Most people, 1 to 2 cups a day, without a doubt. Well, an apple, there's a cup. Berries, there's another cup. So quercetin, it's loaded in apples, but you can also find it in berries, grapes, and broccoli, and tea, and all sorts of other products as well. So I'm a big fan of an apple a day. Wanted to pass that along to you. So I've kind of broke things down in categories and given you a few of each. So in the fruit category, I'm adding berries. You know that I'm a huge advocate of berries. The phytonutrients in berries, the anthocyanins, all the different colors give you all sorts of different benefits. But a lot of people just stick to blueberries or they just stick to strawberries. And you know how much I love blueberries and how much I think that wild blueberries are one of the best foods, a true superfood out there. Here's the thing. You should and can include other types of berries a couple times a week. And it could be as easy as buying a bag of frozen berries. Again, if you don't know the benefits of frozen versus fresh versus cooked, just check out my podcast. I did one just about a week or two ago. And let's see if I can find it. I'm always losing my place for when the specific podcast came out. But, well, you'll be able to find it at stevencabral.com/podcast and simply look back for frozen versus fresh versus cooked food and the different benefits. And I just found it right there. It's episode 1523 if you want to check it out. All right. So here's the nice thing though. Blackberries have their own benefits. Raspberries, own benefits. Blueberries, cherries, and you can even add one in that a lot of people don't think about, but is absolutely fantastic for killing bacteria as well in the urinary tract, as well as the kidneys, and that is cranberries. So cranberries are very bitter, and in Ayurveda, as they say, bitter is better. It's usually a very potent, packed with polyphenols and other things that are great antioxidants. So what can you do though? Well, you mix cranberries with another type of berry inside of your smoothie, right? So make a smoothie bowl, add a few cranberries in, get used to the taste, and then you can always add a few more. So cranberries can be a great addition to that smoothie or smoothie bowl. All right, next up is oats. And you might say, why would oats be on a food of foods that can boost the immune system? Doesn't make any sense. They're also a grain. A lot of people don't do well with grains. Sometimes they're cross-contaminated with mold or with gluten. And to that I say, yes, all of that is true. There's no doubt about it. However, You can find good quality oats. You can find gluten-free oats. And for a lot of people, it helps them tremendously with healthy levels of cholesterol, healthy levels of blood pressure. It leads to satiation. It's good for the gut bacteria. And in this case, why is it good for the immune system? Well, what's good for the gut is usually good for the immune system, but also oats provide something called beta-glucans. And beta-glucans are great for the immune system and the white blood cells. And they've been found to fight off things like viruses and parasites and bacteria. So really important. And again, oats, pretty easy, right? I typically say those people that are adding a little bit of grain into their diet, they can do some well-cooked oats, and they can simply have that along with their smoothie in the morning if they'd like. That's totally up to you and totally up to the diet plan you're on, but it can be an excellent one that most people don't talk about. So number 5 is going back. I'm not going to do a lot on vegetables because all vegetables are pretty much great vegetables. There are some that don't do as well for people, and some of the nightshades and some of the ones with that are just more starchy, okay? Like corn doesn't do well with some people, eggplant, etc. However, I like to tell people all veggies for the most part, brightly colored, great for most people. Find the ones that don't cause you digestive distress or joint pain, etc. But the ones that you really want to go after and you want to fix your gut if it doesn't allow you to eat these are cruciferous vegetables, the brassica family veggies. You want the Brussels sprouts and the kale and the mustard greens and the broccoli and the collards and the cabbage. I can already hear some people saying, well, there's issues potentially with eating kale if you have thyroid issues. Listen, there's an issue with everything you eat. Trust me. I can find an issue for every food that you eat. And so we don't want to fixate on that. We want to always fixate on what can we do that would benefit us? What can we do that would boost us up? Nobody needs to eat kale to be healthy. So, that's one thing we really want to think about is that there is no food that you have to eat in order to be healthy. There are healthy foods like cruciferous vegetables. Why? Well, they contain a lot of sulforaphane. They help boost detoxification. They have powerful antioxidants locked inside of them. And most of these cruciferous vegetables should be cooked. And that takes away a lot of the goitrogenic effects that some people have that may have a goiter. Now, even if you have thyroid issues, I have not seen anyone in my clinical practice have issues with kale or other cruciferous vegetables unless they have a goiter, unless they're more prone to a goiter. So just keep that in mind and take some of what you read with a grain of salt. So include those cooked cruciferous vegetables in there. Anyone in our practice that's more estrogen dominant, we do 2 to 3 cups a day minimum of cruciferous vegetables. 1.5 cups at lunch, 1.5 cups at dinner, easy, or 2 cups at lunch, 2 cups at dinner, and you can add in a little other veggies or other vegetables if you'd like as well. Pretty easy to do. They really do taste great. You can simply add one of the other foods I'm about to share with you later on this list to them as a dressing. You can add a little bit of Himalayan sea salt or Celtic salt, and you're good to go. And they're really, really great for you. So, huge fan of those. Number 6, one that not a lot of people talk about, but it's a fermented food, but it's kind of like the forgotten fermented food. And it's kimchi. And the reason why I specifically chose kimchi is, yes, it contains cabbage, which is part of the cruciferous vegetable family. You get your broccoli, you get your collards, you get your cabbage, all of those are great. Well, kimchi, oftentimes made with cabbage, it's made with other things as well. It's also spicy. And the spices I'm going to be mentioning just in a couple notes from here are great for increasing circulation, great for white blood cells, and fantastic in their own right at killing all sorts of gut bugs and viruses as well. So kimchi has made the list, probably the first time. Well, I've probably spoken about kimchi before. I actually enjoy kimchi. I'm a big fan of it. And it's a great way to get those probiotics as well. So you've got your kimchi. You can try out all sorts of different types at your local natural health food store. Sure, they sell them at big grocery food stores as well, but it's always nice to support your local health food store and your local businesses as well, especially during times like this. All right, in addition to kimchi, we have garlic. I couldn't not add this to the list, right? I had to add it. Garlic. We know that it's one of those ones that absolutely, again, like no doubt about it, has been proven to boost your immune system. People say, well, eating garlic is not going to prevent a certain virus. Well, it may or may not. That's absolutely true. It may or may not. But what it will do is leave you with a healthier immune system. So if you still get the virus, well, you're going to be a whole lot healthier because of it. Now, again, do we promote garlic for every single person in our practice? No. Those people that come into our practice with bacterial overgrowth, candida overgrowth, some type of gut dysbiosis, we don't use it. Not in the beginning, but we do use it after about 8 to 10 weeks. We start to add it back in because it can be great for the immune system, as we spoke about, cholesterol, blood pressure, been shown to help with inflammation, been shown to help with bacteria like H. pylori. So huge fan, obviously parasites as well. I mean, that's been used now traditionally for thousands of years. Crushing a clove of garlic before bed, swallowing it with water, and helping for it to kill all those little bugs in your gut. My great-great aunt, who was just a couple of years older than my grandmother, so I know great-great aunt seems like she was 200 years old, but she came from Italy, came over, and essentially she used a lot of these things every single day. Garlic in all of her cooking for sure, but also used to oftentimes crush and swallow a capsule of, not a capsule, but the actual garlic itself right before bed. She obviously didn't know that it contains all those different sulfur compounds like the allicin family, which you'll get in some onions as well. But she knew that that's what her family did for many years, and they lived long, healthy lives, and she, did as well. Okay, well, what's next on the list? We're working our way down the list. We are now moving on to spices. I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite spices. If you can only choose 3 spices, which are the ones that are going to help with balancing inflammation and boosting the immune system? The first one is cayenne. Cayenne pepper is greatly overlooked in terms of metabolism, in terms of blood clotting issues, in terms of varicose veins, in terms of any issues that have to do essentially with thinning of the blood, circulation, promoting metabolism, promoting heat. We actually use a patented form of cayenne inside of our Fatlocity capsules. Remember, all of our products are backed by science. Our Fatlocity weight loss system is no different. We are not looking to promote a weight loss pill, but I can assure you 25 clinical scientific studies shows that we are able to help people turn on their metabolism and then turn it off at bedtime in order to get that deep, restful sleep. Incredible system. I know just 1,000+ people taking advantage of that right out of the gate. So excited to see that. But again, cayenne is more than just a metabolism booster. It's also a way to fire up the internal heat of the body. It's a great way to balance inflammation as well. Turmeric does nearly the same thing. Turmeric does not create heat inside of the body, but what it does do, and it's actually really great at it, is it helps balance healthy levels of inflammation. Been shown to help with diabetes, been shown to help with allergies. The diabetes is an interesting point because we're finding with new additional studies that turmeric or curcumin actually seems to better regulate or actually lower unhealthy blood sugar levels. So it's going to be a great one to continue to look at. We know that it works specifically on activating immune cells, that it helps actually reduce inflammatory cytokines, and then we're actually seeing it work right now in cancer-based studies. And again, this is conventional medicine studies. These are not just natural health, natural medicine studies, right? We're all looking at the same studies, and they are done with peer-reviewed research. So turmeric, most people know about it. Super simple to get as an actual root itself, or you can get it in capsule-based form. Completely up to you. For additional recommendations, you can just go to stevencabral.com/podcast. You can look up pretty much any one of these products, and I've done a product review on it before, no doubt about it. All right. What about ginger? Now, I promoted ginger many, many times. It's in many of our products. It's in our functional medicine detox. It's been shown to help with kidney-based, literally kidney-based health. It's been shown to help balance inflammation inside of the intestines and the gut and the overall healthy inflammation of the body. Huge fan of ginger. It can work as an anti-anxiolytic. It can work as a natural anti-nausea-based herb. It's fantastic. It can be used during pregnancy safely. So big fan of that. How do you get basically all of these in one? Well, there's a lot of fire cider recipes that will give you the benefits of like a kimchi, garlic, cayenne, turmeric, ginger, all in one. And it's called fire cider or fire tonic. Again, I've done product reviews on fire cider and fire tonic before. You can find them at your local health food store. Certainly you can buy it online, but again, it's really nice to support your local health food store as well. I know every time I go to Maine, there's this little mom and pop health food store. I go in there and I buy like $100. And I know that not everybody can just go in and buy $100. So I'm not saying it like that, but I go in because I say, listen, I've founded a global-based nutritional supplement company, but that doesn't mean I can't support my local business that's been there since the late 60s selling nutritional supplements before anybody even knew they existed. And I want to make sure that they stay in business. So it's something that I like to do. I like to support them. And they're great people. I mean, the people who run these mom and pop health food stores, I don't know. I've been going to them for the last 20 plus years everywhere that I've always, whether it was in Arlington, Massachusetts, there used to be one that I used to go there all the time. There was one in Woburn, Massachusetts. There was one in Burlington where I used to work. And I've just always supported these small shops to just say, listen, I might not buy everything from you, But I can certainly, if I'm going to buy it anyways, I can make a little bit of extra effort to purchase it from you as well. And so anyway, that's just my take on it. But I like being able to do that. And I promote going to your local farmer's market and your local health food store. All right, shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms have made the list. I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I don't talk about them really enough. Usually I recommend them in certain capsule-based forms. There's no doubt about that. But not all of them taste great to eat. They really don't. A lot of them taste very earthy. They taste a little like dirt. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing because you can certainly add, again, a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of the next oil that I'm about to talk about next. But shiitake mushrooms, if you haven't tried them, they taste fantastic. So get rid of the portobello mushrooms, nothing wrong with them. Get rid of the button top mushrooms, they're fine, but add in shiitake. The immune boosting benefits, again, not all mushrooms do the same thing. So that's why you don't want to just kind of use mushrooms willy-nilly. You want to know why you're using them, the specific benefits that you're going to get. Reishi mushrooms, great for balancing the immune system, not pushing it, good for allergies, good for inflammation, good for asthma, great for HPV. That's a reishi mushrooms. But shiitake mushrooms have specific polysaccharides that we've seen in many studies to actually balance inflammation and improve immune markers as well as be antiviral. So huge fan of those. They're easy to cook up. You can add them to pretty much any dish and they're delicious. Add them to your greens as well. So shiitake mushrooms, making the list, super easy to cook up. Bake them, do whatever you'd like with them. You can throw them in a pan, that works too. Okay, next up is olive oil. I can't really do a podcast without talking about the benefits of an olive oil. Now, yes, your olive oil should not be in a light container. It should be in a dark container. It should be cold processed. It should be first pressed. It should be organic. So yes, we want all of those things. It should be single origin so that you're not getting fake olive oil. But getting great olive oil, not buying the big jumbo bottle that can be oxidized very quickly. When you take in olive oil, you are actually taking in a great nutritional supplement. It has been shown to be packed with antioxidants. The polyphenols, that little bit of bite you get in the back of your throat with olive oil, tells you if that is a strong antioxidant olive oil or not. And the great thing about olive oil is it can be used for many different recipes as part of just a good overall dressing. Like you can add lemon to it, you can add some citrus to it, you can add sea salt, you could add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So you can make your own different dressings and with olive oil as part of that. So most people, again, in my practice, I'm recommending 2 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil per day. And you can break that up for over 2 different meals. So huge fan of it. And there you have it. So now let's move into beverages that you can drink on a daily basis. The first one is matcha tea. I'm not going to go too deep into matcha, but matcha I've done an entire podcast on. I did a whole Friday review on matcha tea. It is spelled M-A-T-C-H-A, and it actually comes in a powdered form. It is a bright green powder. You can get the ceremonial version, you can get the wild matcha, but you just want a good, clean, organic or wild, and ideally just a good quality matcha product. Again, I won't go too deep into it, but what you're going to get are what they're called flavonoids. They're powerful antioxidants, and those flavonoids also called catechins. And what they do is they provide basically a concentrated antioxidant and balancer for the inflammatory system of the body. So really powerful. Again, if you like matcha tea, great. You can mix it. A lot of people mix it with our daily fruit and vegetable blend. They use it as a pre-workout because it has just a little bit of a kick to it, meaning like no jitters, but it has a little bit of that theobromine for caffeine, about half the cup of a cup of coffee, so of caffeine. So really, really nice, and you can use it early afternoon, and you should still be able to sleep at night. Or you can replace your coffee with matcha tea. The next one that I don't give enough press is Tulsi tea. Tulsi tea is an Ayurvedic tea. It's actually a base tea leaf that's used with many other teas. So in Ayurveda, it's called holy basil or Tulsi tea. Slightly bitter, but what it does is it has powerful antioxidant and immune enhancing as well as inflammation balancing properties. It's a black tea of sorts, but really, really nice and more of that herbal type of tea. Really, really fantastic. Check it out. It's often a base in most Ayurvedic-based teas. The last one is this. Now, I know that it's kind of like just, putting it out there that it's the icing on the cake, but it's this. All of the things I gave you today are easy to add in. Citrus fruits, apples, berries and cranberries, oats. You can just mix them in your smoothie, right? Oats you can have on the side. Cruciferous vegetables. You should be eating veggies anyways. Add more cruciferous. We've got kimchi for its fermented power, and we also have it for its spice. We've got garlic, cayenne, turmeric, and ginger, or fire cider that combines all of them for a nice little kick for the immune system. We have shiitake mushrooms if we're just choosing one, a great one, a delicious one. We have olive oil, we have matcha, we have tulsi. These are easy to get in on a daily basis, right? Easy, just make it part of your routine. But if you are not doing this one, you are not going to get all of these benefits, and that is water, straight H2O. And you need to be getting half your body weight in ounces per day for most people. If you weigh 160 pounds, get 80 ounces of water. That's 10 8-ounce glasses. If you weigh 200 pounds, that means 100 ounces of water, and that is what, 12 or so, a little over, glasses of water. So what you want, and again, there are contraindications for this. If you have very low blood pressure, then you might not be doing that, right? But you'll also probably be adding more sodium in so that you can take in more water. But the thing is this. A lot of people have a weakened immune system and allow viruses to enter their body because their mucous membranes and their nasal passages are all dried out. And they don't have enough water to actually create enough blood plasma as well. Now, again, you'll always have enough to survive, well, until you're super dehydrated, but that doesn't mean you're optimal, right? There's a huge difference. This is what conventional medicine forgets. There's a huge difference between not being sick and being healthy. Not being sick does not make you a healthy human being. It just doesn't. You know, sickness or absence of sickness does not mean you're healthy. So what we need to do is this. We need to get our bodies optimal. And optimal means that you're getting enough vitamin C, antioxidants, vitamin D, whether from the sun or supplementation, all your B vitamins, all your minerals on a daily basis. And again, it's why we recommend good, healthy nutrition as the foundation. And then figuring out what you have for deficiencies by either running what's called the starter kit, which is a lab bundle over at Equilibrium Nutrition, or simply add in the daily foundational protocol level 2 with the immunity bundle, which is extra vitamin C, extra vitamin D, and extra zinc. These things will keep you healthy, but again, focus on whole food nutrition, fill in the gaps with good quality functional medicine nutritional supplements, and I really believe you and your family will be doing well. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. If this was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only 2 ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.